The Switch 1 meant so much to me growing up and to this day. So today, I want to look back on all my major memories with the Switch 1 before the Switch 2 releases in just a few days. I could vividly remember the speculation going on for the Nintendo NX around this time, searching up little details, what it could look like, and all of that during this time. And then the reveal was unlike anything I've ever seen before. Maybe a portable hybrid now isn't anything crazy to gawk at, but in 2016, the closest you're going to get to that would be the PlayStation Vita, and no one wants to be a PlayStation Vita. The first of my biggest highlights of the Switch was something I got to much later than everyone else, that being Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game carried the weak launch lineup that the Switch had, and 15 hours in, I will say, it is definitely one of the greatest games of all time. The world building, puzzle solving, and weapon mechanics are unlike any other open world game I've ever played before. Though I gotta finish it before I can really say more. It's just a great experience overall. Obviously I didn't play it at launch, but what I did play close to launch when I got my Switch in April 2017 was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And wow, that's one of the most played games of all time just because of 9th and 10th grade study hall alone. It further improved upon the original Mario Kart 8 on Wii U with its own battle mode that was an ass, and some extra courses down the line. And it was the de facto multiplayer game on the system until the lead up and release of Smash Ultimate was one of those special moments in my life. Though I will never believe any leaks again after that Grinch bullshit had me thinking Shadow was going to be in it. Nah. And Smash Ultimate is easily my most played game on the Switch with just about 300 hours on there. And I have not touched grass since. Smash Ultimate improved on the formula from Melee and Brawl and Smash 4 with bringing back story mode, bringing back all characters from across the entire series, and of course the extras that came along the way with DLC. This game defined my sophomore and junior years of high school with all sorts of fanfare and tournaments going on. I felt like everyone I spoke to had this game and a Switch. With 152 million Switches out, it felt that way. It sure as hell felt that way. After the pandemic hit, I didn't really use my Switch much after for a long time until it was time for me to play a game I've been putting off for a very long time, and that would be Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. KOTOR 2 to me perfected the morality and philosophy choices from KOTOR 1, along with exploring the Force itself, whether or not it really needed to exist, as well as the exile's trauma from the Battle of Malachor 5. I don't know what else to say, it's a top-notch Western RPG by one of the best developers out, Obsidian. It's incredible. It's my favorite game of all time. Yeah, that year, Sonic Frontiers would drop to a herring. Well, damn, that's way better than Sonic Forces, bruh. Even with its obvious issues, Sonic Frontiers gives us a great story that finally makes you feel something after a decade of meta-era garbage. Whizzing through the open zones is such a blast, and don't get me started on Big's Return or the supersonic boss fights. Those are incredible. Overall, it was a great time for a long-time fan like myself, but there was one more big game that I played on the Switch during its lifespan, that being Super Mario RPG. It was such a treat going back to this game with a new coat of paint and cutscenes and reorchestrated soundtrack to boot. Squaresoft had established such creativity with its character design and environment design, and that translated perfectly into the remake. Those were the games that had the most impact on me over the course of 8 years. And I will say the hardware was starting to get outdated, but I'm going to miss this era a lot. Despite concerning pricing, I am hopeful the Switch 2 can deliver the same amount of great games that the Switch 1 did. That's why we're here after all. I'd like to thank you for getting to the end of the video. Let me know your favorite Switch games and memories in the comments below, and I'll catch y'all for the next one. Peace.